What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Nightly Painting Studio. This is Corbin, and my entire goal is to inspire, equip, and empower you to be the best hobbyist that you can be. Which is why I do these live streams. Hopefully tonight you learn a little something, take something away, and just enjoy time hanging out with other people who love the hobby. That's encouraging as it is. So, yeah, super pumped. Last night we ended up doing a stream where I unboxed the new Kill Team Hivestorm, and it was pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff in there. It's packed to the brim. Packed to the brim, and I was able to end up building a little Vespid. That's my first little thing for last night, so that was fun. So yeah, tonight I am going to be diving back into that box and working more on the Vespids. So I'm going to build a couple more of those tonight as I answer questions, talk with you guys and gals, I would love to give feedback on any questions that you might have. Also, if you want to submit a miniature for me to take a look at, if you want some advice or feedback, would love to give that as well. But yeah, as you pop into the chat, like I already see Francis is here. What's up? Good to see you again. And but you guys let me know what you want me to either talk about or comment on. Let's start a conversation. Let's get it going. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pop over to the desk camera here, and I'll start building away, and also kind of showing you what I was able to do during the day today, which is gonna be pretty fun. So, all right, here we go. Okay, so here we go. Right now you are looking at a couple of buildings and a little Vespid. So this is the Vespid that I built yesterday. Pretty cool mini. We're gonna make it even cooler here in the next week or so. Pretty sweet. So. Yeah, excited about the Vespid. I'm a Tau player, so Vespid get me excited. Long-term Tau player as well. So so here is one of the buildings from the Hivestorm box, and boy oh boy, there's a lot of detail. You can see all the skulls up here. I love the dents in these big boilers, and you even see that carried over to the inside where there's just so much detail. This little hatchway in here, it has like a shutter so that they can look and see like a peephole to see who's out there, or fire a weapon through, which is pretty cool. You can see there's just a lot of detail in there. It just makes this terrain really neat. So that's one building, and then here is the next. I love how this, like, a couple of the screws or whatever came out, and it's swung on its axis there. So this one's got like a big door in the middle, and then you can see that there was a second door up here that has been removed. But even like the flooring is a different pattern on the actual flooring for this. It's got this nice big eagle motif right here. The windows are very different on this one as well, which is cool. So yeah, these structures are very, very nice. Be excited to get some paint on those. And then I wanted to show you this too, because I got the itch and the desire to really start to work a little bit on my boarding actions terrain. And so here is kind of a mock-up of that terrain. I'm going to go back and add quite a bit more dark contrast to these screens, and I'm going to make these lights a little more red instead of yellow. But for a test piece, this came out very well, I think. So lots of glowing screens. Even like the little bit of dirt and dust and weathering and stuff in the bottom, all that kind of stuff. So, oh, hard to hear me. Okay, let's see here. Is that any better? What's it gonna cost you to get your hands on those smoke grenades? That's funny. Okay, cool. What's up, Phlogiston, by the way? Good to see you in the chat. Thanks for letting me know about the audio issue. Yeah, so this was really fun doing this today. Really, it's just a lot of layers of different things. So once I got the main color in, it was, spraying, I think it was rattling grime down on that bottom third, and then kind of up into the shadows and some of that stuff. Then it was really just kind of going in with the silvers and all that kind of stuff. So blocking in stuff, using some washes. I haven't used washes in absolutely ages, so it was nice to just kind of slop some of those on. You can see right here just the power of a wash. All that little definition. It just ends up looking really good. I prefer oil washes at this point in my hobby journey, but a good old Agrax Earthshade has never done me wrong. So, but yeah, this was fun. Like I said, just kind of creating a little more, a little darker contrast in these screens is gonna, I think, help set everything in kind of that darker mood. Right now, I feel like those screens just kind of jump out at you, and that's not quite what I wanted. So, yeah. But I think that's gonna look really good, and obviously putting some miniatures next to it. That backdrop is just gonna look so nice. Probably use some of these stacked for some photography at some point. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Nice little palette cleanser to kind of get that project moving again. There's a lot of that boarding actions terrain. So, yeah, the green radar definitely needs some white lines and is not finished yet for sure. But that was as far as I got today. I agree with you on that one. Okay, so we got my little Vespid up here, and I'm gonna get started on probably you know what? It would help to have the instructions, even though most of the time the numbers are pretty self-explanatory. I don't want to take anything for granted, so I will be right back with the instructions. Okay, I'm back with the instructions. Let's see here. You know what? Because he's super cool, we're gonna go for the shade strain down here. Probably the coolest looking one out of the bunch. So we're gonna go for him. Oh, Francis, we will miss you. Enjoy that sleep, and we'll see you in the next stream. Have a great night. Alright, we're gonna grab this one. It's 50, 48, 47, 48, 49. Where are those? Here's 48. And 49. And 47 is the money. Generally what I like to do is cut all of the parts out first. So we're going to grab 53, which is this guy. We want 52, which is this little chest plate. It's one with the cool towel armor on it. right back while I go look for this. Okay, if you have ever lost one of these tiny gray pieces on your floor, just go ahead and let me know in the chat right now, because I know there are so many people out there who feel my pain. It's even worse when they're like pretty close to the color of the flooring. That's the one that has the two-piece. Okay. All of the other ones are like one piece. This one is not. Okay, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here. And we're just gonna go ahead and start taking off these mold lines. Thus begins the tedious process. Y'all let me know if that scraping is really loud in the mic. Make sure y'all can hear me, but I also don't want to annoy the heck out of you guys. By, infinite mold line scraping. So, to anyone watching, has anybody played the new Kill Team yet? And if so, what are your impressions? Would love to hear your thoughts. Alright, so that's a base piece done. I will note, if you want to be good at scraping old lines, maybe don't do what I just did and remove a chunk of plastic from the mini. Might be helpful. I see we got quite a few people tuning in. Welcome to the Nightly Painting Studio. I am building some of the brand new Vespid right now from Kill Team Hivestorm. Would love to know what you are working on today. Also, let me know if the noise for the mold line scraping is unbearable. I will turn it down. I was about to say, sweet ASMR. That's one way to put it. You're just popping in, I am building these Vespids. These are pretty sweet models, not gonna lie. And they go together really nicely. I noticed this about the new Kroot models for the Tau as well. Like, the poses are really great. And the way that the minis go together is just chef's kiss. Like, it's just really good. Zero complaints. what's up, Mist Games? Indominus box set, World Eater, Combat Patrol, Nemesis Claw, and a Combat Patrol of Orcs coming tomorrow. Nice. What are you working on all those at the same time, or are you prioritizing one over the other, or that's a big pile of gray plastic to work through. So, do you have something you're tackling first, Mist Games? Hey, that's awesome. Got a week off of work next week, so you're gonna get through as much as you can. Yeah, that's actually me this week. I have this week off, so I will definitely be streaming unless something unforeseen comes up. I will be streaming as much as I can. So as I'm working on stuff, getting through probably some boarding actions terrain, and then working on these. I feel like just working on this stuff mostly for the streams and stuff is actually gonna be really fun. So yeah, I agree, Phlogiston. The Kroot minis were really good, and I'll just say these Vespid are just as good. The quality, the sculpting. I feel like even more so than the Kroot, they had their work cut out for them with the Vespid, because it's like, do you really lean into that super buggy look? Which they did. Yeah, Lone Spear is a really cool model. The thing he's riding on too is pretty cool. The chameleonic beast thing. I can't remember its name. It's like a big salamander. Ah, Calamandra, yes. Yeah, the Indominus box set is a pretty great box set, Mist Games. And it goes together pretty quick, if I remember correctly. You can let me know if I'm right or wrong, but I'm pretty sure Mist Games that Indominus was the one that had Space Marines and Necrons in it, if I remember correctly. Yeah, okay, cool. So which faction are you most interested in out of those two? The Space Marines or the Necrons, or both? Yeah, so Phlogiston, I think my favorite of the new Kroot minis are the Rampagers. just never expected young Crutoxes. With the Crud on the back. It's pretty cool. Missed games, yeah. Warhammer's a big universe. For sure, and there's a lot to cover. But it is definitely not impossible. I'd just say take it in bite-sized chunks. If you don't mind me asking, how new are you to the hobby? And how did you get into it? What's up, everybody watching? If we haven't met yet, my name's Corbin. I'm the Nightly Painter, and I am working on some of the new Kill Team Hivestorm Vespids. Just cleaning these guys up. Getting them ready. Get some paint. This is the shade strain that I'm working on currently. He's the Sneaky Boy Vespid. I think it's cool to see them utilizing some of the Tau technology. Oh, okay, yeah. I see that. Missed games. Yep, since Vermintide. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Well, welcome to the hobby, and Space Marine 2 pushed you over the edge. Yep, I was half expecting that. Been seeing a lot of that recently, which is really cool. Where we go here? Missed games, I'm gonna send you the Weta Workshop Titus statue. Yeah, that thing's sick. Keep doing that. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I just popped the link to our Discord there for you. Honestly, would be great to have you in there if you are really just kind of diving into it. We got a lot of people who bring a good amount of experience to the table and can definitely help answer any questions that you might have along the way. So I would highly recommend just jumping on in there. It's a nice, encouraging community, and we love seeing people's work. Plus, would love to, keep up with your progress as you make your way through that box set. Cheer you on next week. Honestly, I feel like Indominus was the box that made Space Marines cool again. Really brought back that like Warrior Monk vibe that the original Space Marines had, that the Primaris Space Marines kind of lacked up until that box. Yeah, I was hopeful that they wouldn't quite lose the OG Space Marine aesthetic. As cool as the new Primaris models are, I think they just needed to catch up their design trends to all of that lore and time that they have put into creating these basically old medieval knights in space wearing power armor, shooting weapons, but also running at you with a sword. Like, it's just wild. Anybody else watching right now getting into Warhammer, or maybe diving back into Warhammer because of Space Marine 2? Or maybe you're just playing Space Marine 2 in general? Not liking Tyranids. Didn't want the starter set again. Could have been because Space Marine 2 and playing on Angel of Death difficulty. That's funny. Yeah, Tyranids, for me, I think the design aspect and what they are and the threat they pose in the universe of just being these all-consuming, basically super predators. I think it's all I would have a really hard time connecting with the Tyranids as a player. So, what's up, Jack Wallace? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the video. Also, just now getting into it, painted models for other games, and now I want to find out about Warhammer. Nice. Well, it's a great place to do it. Yeah, I think Warhammer. Well, first of all, what other games have you painted minis for? It's probably the best first question there. Also, Jack would highly encourage you to join the Discord as well. I'd love to keep up with you in there, and obviously, I could probably answer questions a little better in there than I can here on the live stream. So. But yeah, I think it's great seeing so many new people getting into the world of Warhammer. I think apart from the minis, like the lore and the background and all that kind of stuff are honestly, I think, on par with even stuff like Star Wars. Like the breadth of the lore is just so deep. So I think there's a lot to find out about, but I think that's part of the beauty of it is you can kind of get into it and just keep learning and going a little bit deeper, and you can tackle the different factions as you come across them or want to know more. But yeah, start with like missed games. I would say just kind of start learning about the factions that you have minis for, and you'll begin to learn. Also, if you have not already, on YouTube here, there's a guy named Luton, Luton07, I believe. He's got to be one of the best, if not the best, like Warhammer lore YouTuber out there. He just does such a good job of breaking stuff down. It's Luton07. I believe is the username. So, Jack Wallace says mostly D&D. And just join the Discord. Nice. Sweet. Yeah, I'll definitely see you over there. Yeah, D&D, that's a good place to come from. But it's also going to be a pretty big leap getting into Games Workshop miniatures. They're so detailed, which is really cool. But it also means that there's a lot of complexity in how you build the miniatures. So what you're going to see right now is you're going to see all these pieces and parts. I haven't done the wings quite yet. We'll glue those in here in just a second once I clean those off. But Jacob the Earthling, welcome to the chat. It's good to have you here tonight. Getting ready to start buying stuff to play. Would the starter set be good? I know it has Space Marines and the Alien faction. I really like the Necrons and wasn't sure what to buy. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think the starter set is a good one to start with. Obviously, they make it the starter set for a reason. So there's a couple of different ways that you could get into the game with. So there's like a starter box right now. That starter box is the Space Marines and the Tyranids. Obviously, the Space Marines are your good guy super soldiers that are fighting to protect and defend humanity for the most part. And your Tyranids are basically a hive mind, so there's one consciousness that controls this giant fleet of alien super predators, basically, that adapt to fight the different factions that they come across. And yeah, so those are your two factions that you get in the starter set currently. There are also these things called combat patrols from all of the different factions. I think there's like 27 or 28 different factions in the game currently, if you're looking at main 40K. So I would just say have a browse around the website, and you can probably type in combat patrol and find all of the different combat patrols for all the different factions. There are also some really great YouTube videos out there that explain all of the different factions. Those are all really good ways to get into the game. You could also start with something like I'm working on here, which is the Kill Team starter box, this is kind of like a skirmish game more, so you're talking individual squad based fights. So generally it's anywhere from 6 to 12 models instead of something like 50 for an entire army. So if you're just looking to dabble your toes in, I would say either start with the starter box, a combat patrol from the faction that you really like, or something like a Kill Team might be a good starting point for you, just to kind of dip your toes in. So I believe that pretty much every faction has a squad in Kill Team. So yeah, of course. I'm happy to help, and I'll extend the same invite to you right up here a little bit. I'll recopy and post this in. But feel free to jump in the Discord here. And well, maybe, yeah, there it goes. Sweet. Yeah, I'd love to follow along with your journey, and if there's any other ways that I can help you, I would love to be able to do that. So okay, so let's assemble this guy. But I will, before I move on, Jacob and even Jack and Mist Games, I would tell you, get what you like the look of first and foremost. If you don't think it's cool, you're probably not going to play it or like it for the long term. So I would just say go browse and figure out what you like and dive in. So rule of cool always prevails. That is absolutely true. Mist Games. What's up, Iron Motion? Welcome. Good to have you on the stream and in the chat. Oh yeah, the Necrons definitely are really, really cool with the Terminator motif. Absolutely. Absolutely. You'll find that Warhammer has a lot of different tropes that are a part of it, but it is very unique in almost every single one of those. So it kind of takes cues from a lot of really popular science fiction, but it takes it and makes it its own, and it makes it very dark in its own way. So if you like that, it's always 5 seconds to midnight type of feeling, and we might just go over the edge at any point. It's the setting for you, honestly. The good guys do not always win. In fact, there are no good guys in 40K. There's just varying degrees of bad, to be honest. So okay, yeah, I guess Farsight would be probably about as close to a good guy as you can get. I'll give you that one, Phlogiston. Plus, Farsight's my boy. It's my home dog. Okay. All right, let's see if I can catch up here. Yeah, so the dynasties and stuff for the Necrons, you have a lot of different options with, you know, how you decide to go about aligning yourself, so to speak, with the Necrons, because and honestly, every faction has these to a degree. Where you have like a lot of, in their case, dynasties. There are different chapters of Space Marines. I don't know why I just glued that on. That's probably going to make things obnoxious for me later on, but that's fine. Let's see here. Yeah, so, okay, Mist Games. Are custom color schemes banned from table play? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If somebody tells you that you cannot... now, if you're playing in a tournament and there's some specific rule that they have about, you know, what you see is what you get, then okay. I can understand that. I still think it's dumb. But, and most of the time you don't run into that. As long as you're really clear with your opponent about what you're doing. No, there is no... a lot of the magic of Warhammer is that you can kind of do what you want and make things your own. And the universe itself and the lore is so big that it really does a good job of making space for your own narrative, which is one of the reasons that I love the setting so much. So you can see that we've gotten him together a decent bit here, which is good. What's up, Dio Brando? Welcome to the chat. Glad you're here. You want to homebrew Space Marine? Okay, yeah. This is a very common thing. So basically, the lore for Space Marines is that there's like so many different. I think there's like 1,000 chapters of Space Marines, and they haven't even come close to figuring out which ones all of those are. They have a lot of main ones that they have come up with and already have lore for and all that kind of stuff. But the entire point for, tons of the different editions of Warhammer has been that you can homebrew your own chapter of Space Marines, or you can homebrew your own Dynasty of Necrons, or whatever it is. You're supposed to dive into that narrative and create your own stories. So you may not know this, but originally Warhammer started out as an RPG style game, and then it grew from there. But its roots were in the D&D style RPG setting, and Rogue Trader was a lot more like that from my understanding. I never played Rogue Trader, but it had a lot more elements of role-playing in it. And so the creators and the company itself have always been champions of you forging your own narrative and coming up with your own color schemes and all that kind of stuff. So, yep. So you should definitely homebrew your own Space Marine chapter. I think there's even some stuff out there on the interwebs that allows you to quote unquote color in a Space Marine just to kind of see how it would look before you commit to it. Just to see if your color scheme actually looks decent, because sometimes you get something in your head and when you actually put it on the thing that it's supposed to go on, it doesn't quite work, or you have to modify or adjust it a little bit. So I believe if you just type in something like Space Marine color palette or something like that, you should be able to find that. Okay, Jacob, the Earthling. Is there a reason people assemble parts before painting? Yeah, so most of the time you want to assemble the parts first and then paint the mini. A lot of times there's going to be sections of the model that you don't even see once the model is assembled. Plus, generally, when you are building the miniature and using glue, even super glue, the adhesion is going to be better on bare plastic than plastic with paint on it. So I think it's just a good idea generally to assemble before you paint. But there are plenty of people who do that the other way around. And so I don't think there's a wrong way or right way to do it. I think it just depends on your preference. But I definitely, I feel that the vast majority of people assemble the miniature and then paint the miniature. So, just kind of part of the process. I also think it just for the sake of saying it, like when you take the mini off of the miniature, it generally tends to have these little burrs that you've seen me removing throughout the video. How do the heads attach on the Vespid? So they just have like a little notch out. Yeah, we'll see. Should be fine. Yeah, Phlogiston is a champion and is printing me a bunch of helmeted heads for the Vespid. So excited to purchase some 3D printed ones. So, but yeah, they have these little burrs and stuff that basically whenever you'll see me do it again just here in just a second, but they have these little burrs that come on them that I've been scraping off this whole time, and those little things can basically stand out when you go to paint the miniature. And some people really don't care. They don't mind having those little flaws basically in the model, but I'm really anal about it. So that's why you've seen me going around and removing every single mold line. So yeah, Phlogiston, I'll probably just end up shaving down the parts just to make them fit. Okay, so and then this stuff is actually this stuff is awesome. It's blue tack. It's a lifesaver. So I can basically just stick a little bit on there, stick the head right on, and then when I'm ready to paint, I can remove that part and it'll get painted a separate color. So Jacob the Earthling, will I be painting this tonight? I will not. I will need to prime this miniature with a primer, either through a rattle can or I'll be priming it using an airbrush. So there's a lot of, for me, there's a lot of other steps before I move on to painting these guys tonight. So but here are two of them now. So this one I built yesterday. And here is the Shade Strain. That's probably the coolest one out of the whole box. That's sick. This guy's cool. He's got like stealth technology all over him. He's got extra armor. Shade Strain is cool. He's got this different, little different gun. Yeah, they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. So, I love this helmet, but I didn't want all of them to have that special helmet. So, yeah, having these in hand, they're cooler than I thought they would be. Yeah, so I will say I think I've used the spray can primer from which one is it? Rust-Oleum is fine. Any of your like regular from like a Lowe's, Home Depot hardware store or something like that, any of those will work just fine. You just have to be careful with it. Go easy on it. Make sure it's a high quality one. Maybe somebody else also has a good recommendation for this in the chat. If you have a specific brand of spray can primer that you use, let me know in the chat. Missed Games will thank you forever if you reply in the chat. I'm just assuming. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do the this guy next. This one here with the airbrush or the airburst thing. I forget what it's called. What's it called? Neutron grenade launcher. There it is. So we're gonna go with him. Yeah, I get that. I know you're just getting into it, so I'll recommend this, but definitely don't feel like it's a necessary thing. So I use an airbrush for most of my priming, unless it's something really big or like a piece of terrain or something. But this is the Badger Patriot 105. This thing's a workhorse. It's $60 on Amazon. I can send you the link on the Discord if you'd like and if you're interested. But airbrushes are game changers. They'll speed up your painting time, especially for priming. Well, I wouldn't say for priming, but for base coating, they really save you a lot of time. But I haven't had issues with Rust-Oleum. You just have to be... I found that I have to be more careful than I think when I'm spraying to make sure that I don't fill in all those little details. I will say, if you're using an airbrush, for anybody out there using one, this stuff is my favorite. The Stynal Res. Yeah, I think get into the game, figure out how much you enjoy it, and you know, if you're still painting and doing this a year from now, invest in an airbrush, and I think it'll be a game changer for you. But otherwise, there are definitely some good spray can stuff out there. So like at the beginning of the stream, I showed off this that I've been working on, and I mean, this was done with that Rust-Oleum black primer and paint 2-in-1. And you can see, like, it didn't really lose any of the detail. So, yeah. And it doesn't go on rough. So, I mean, even in those littlest detail points, you're not losing anything. So I would recommend the Rust-Oleum try it for yourself, see what you like. It may not be the right one for you, so. Yeah. Missed games, I would be reluctant to ever use white primer of any kind whatsoever. That is 100% where your issue is coming from. White primer is just the worst. So, yeah, that's definitely where your issues lie. And Games Workshop whites are notoriously bad. I'm sorry no one told you before now. So priming Tyranids in white is definitely a time saver. It's also definitely a pain in the rear. So a lot of times with white sprays, and even just spray cans in general, I think you can run into the issue where if it's not the right temperature or the right time of day, or the humidity is too much or too little, they can just be finicky. So I think just being aware of when and how you're spraying. I think that is, I think that's probably part of the issue, if you haven't been getting good results from any whites. Personally, I think if you're willing to get two different types of spray can. I would go with one that's either black or like a darker gray. And then I would go with one that is either white or cream. And I would do the black first and then just come in behind with kind of the white spray. And they call it a zenithal highlight, which is basically kind of like mimicking the lighting from the sun. And so I think that could be maybe potentially a good way for you to do that. So like if I was to kind of talk you through that, so you would take the spray can. Let's just assume that this is the spray can, right? So you're gonna spray it from underneath. You're gonna spray it from the top, right? You're gonna get that going from as many different angles as you can. You're gonna hold it back approximately 12 inches from the mini when you're spraying, and let that spray go. So then when you come in with your white, what you would do is you would have the mini kind of almost at like a 45-degree angle from your white, and then you're just going to spray that, right? So that's going to give you a dusting of the white color from kind of the top of the miniature. So it's going to leave your shadows, the things that would normally be in shadow, dark, and it's going to leave the things on top as white. And then you can just take whatever paint you were planning on using and go over that. Especially contrast paints are really great for beginners, and they work super well with that type of paint scheme. So the zenithal, when you put contrast over that, it's going to tint all of it the same color, right? But the places where it's white, it's going to be a lot brighter. That color is going to be very bright. And the places where it's dark, it's going to be a lot more muted. And so that's actually what maybe I would try. That way you're not having to coat the entirety of the miniature in white, but you're making it easier on yourself to get those nice vibrant colors. So maybe that's helpful. I don't know. You can let me know if that makes sense or not. What's up, Troy? Welcome to the chat. Big bugs. Because my hug's for a big bug. Repeat yourself for Queen. English, since the spell check is white. Special offers from China. I'm not. Yeah, that's funny. Welcome to the chat, Troy. Thanks for keeping us laughing tonight. Okay, so we got 12, 11, 13. So there's 12 and 13. Also, I will say, so what I was talking about earlier, for those of you who are new, so the connection points where you're going to clip these off of the sprues, so you're going to see me clip this one, boom. And what it's going to do is it's going to leave this little connection point right here that isn't actually part of the model. You can see it right there too. There are these little burrs. This is basically where the injection molded plastic connects to the part itself. So we're going to clean these little mold lines off. You can kind of see those running along the seams, basically where the mold comes together like this. There's a seam down the middle, and it's going to leave that little line. You can kind of see right on there. So we're going to take an X-Acto blade, and we're just going to come in and we're going to scrape that off. It's really generally easy to do. You don't have to put a lot of pressure on there. And those come right off. But then these, you'll kind of have to cut, and then you're going to want to kind of just smooth them over with your hobby knife. So there you go. Now that's pretty much gone, and you can be as precise about it as you want. I just generally kind of use my breath to blow away the little debris there. But you're just going to work your way around the part. And I think I said this earlier, but some people don't care about the mold lines, and they just leave them on there and they paint the penny, and that's totally fine. To each their own. The amount of money that I pay for these things, I don't want to leave these little burrs and stuff on there. I want them to be as clean and well assembled as possible, so I just take my time on this step. It slows me down for sure, but Troy is asking if I've done a Venerable Dreadnought with the extra plasma 17-part pin for the attachment to the plasma gun with the unit that's first found to number part. No, so I haven't done a Venerable Dreadnought. I did the OG Dreadnought back in the day, but it was not the Venerable kit. So I'm not 100% sure what you're talking about, Troy. Is there a part that doesn't fit together or that you don't need or something? Yeah, seam lines are really annoying to get rid of, 100%. So that was one part. So you're just going to kind of cut away as much of that as you possibly can, and then you're going to come back in and clean it up. Okay, I think we're back now. Not quite sure what happened there. There we go. yeah, I 100% phlogiston. Yeah, I actually just ordered some more Tamiya extra thin plastic cement for that very thing. I don't know how many of our new folks are still hanging out with us, but I will say there are two different types of glue. You have super glue and you have plastic glue. They do two different things. Super glue can be used in any situation, including with plastic parts. It is your standard way, I guess, of gluing the miniatures together. Plastic glue can only be used on plastic, hence the name, but it actually melts the plastic together, forming one piece instead of simply using the adhesive to bond the parts together. Yes, phlogiston, I'm sure you can I'm sure you could explain that better than I can, but to my knowledge, that is how the two different things work. Plastic glue is mainly acetone, yep. Yeah, so you could use Loctite super glue. That is perfectly fine. Or you can use the plastic glue on the plastic miniatures. It won't work for metal or resin, so just keep that in mind. But the vast majority of Games Workshop's miniatures are plastic, and you can use either super glue or you can use plastic glue. On most things, I prefer the plastic glue. I started off when I was first in the hobby using super glue. Most people are comfortable with that, but I prefer plastic glue because it actually helps to bond the pieces together. But I would say if you already have some super glue, just go with that. The Loctite gel stuff I have used before and really like. I think it's the gel control, but I'm with phlogiston on this one. Highly recommend the Tamiya plastic glue for the plastic miniatures. It just creates a better bond, and since it melts the plastic, it actually will hide some of the different seams from where the parts come together. So instead of just kind of sticking together like that, they will actually melt together. And yes, they do have a brush in the cap, so you can see that this has a brush. This is the Tamiya regular cement. I use this for most minis because it's a little thicker, and in the joins I like to have a little bit more glue, which melts things a little more. I need another one of these because I turned this into sprue goo. But this is the extra thin, and it has a teeny little brush in it, and yeah, just be careful with this stuff because it is definitely on the toxic side of things, and it smells. So. Yep, this is sprue goo. So basically it's pretty much just plastic. It's been melted to make a goo that you can use to fill in gaps in your miniatures. Just the plastic miniatures though. I know that's a lot of information all at once, but hopefully hopefully it will save you a little bit of time as you're figuring out your way around the hobby. There are a lot of things that people know and don't particularly share right off the bat. So we're gonna clip this guy out. Yep, that's exactly what you do, missed games. You just chop off some of this extra sprue, cut it into teeny tiny little bits, drop it in, and let it melt. And you can just add plastic until you get the consistency that you want. Very useful little tool. And 18, okay. They generally put, in the modern kits at least, they generally put all the parts that go together pretty close to each other, which is nice. I did not see that, Phlogiston. That's hilarious though. I did not see this brute. That's pretty funny. Time is it? 12:10. Man. Troy says he has 7 dreads total. It's a lot of dreadnoughts. Dreadnoughts are cool, so, you know, we'll allow it. Extra part in the kit, but you get 1 on number 32 in the manual, but for some reason there's a second 17, but it's not in the manual for any use. Interesting. Okay. So do you need it to build something and the part's just not there? Is that what's happening? These are the most annoying mold lines, is when they're like directly down the center of everything. For the longest time, I was like, you guys control where these mold lines go. Like, why would you put them right down the center of something? But just because of the way that the injection molding and stuff happens, the way they have to orient the parts on the sprue, it just means sometimes they can't avoid it. Other questions y'all have right now? this has been really good. I've been really grateful for all of the questions that I have seen come through tonight. I've been thinking about doing a video on the channel with top tips for beginners who are getting into the modeling side of Warhammer, and yeah, it's nice to hear what people are actually have questions about when they're coming into the hobby. So if you got more, keep them coming. Or you can head over to Discord, you can drop it in there. Tell you what though, y'all, I'm slowing down. Yo, these take forever to clean. I know I've been talking and stuff throughout this, but sheesh. Old lines everywhere on these things. It's just unusual because a lot of these newer minis do not have as many of the mold lines. Yeah, phlogiston, so far they are not my favorite. The minis are super cool, but the prep work here is whew. There's just so many textures, I think. Yeah, I have to say they did a really good job hiding them on the crew. I think because of the different posing and stuff on these guys, I think it's causing a lot more mold lines. I think it's just the way that they had to lay these out on the sprues because of the weird posing. They've been doing a really good job at hiding them on most recent kits, but not these guys. Alright people, it's almost 12:30. If you're still watching and you're in the chat and you ain't commented yet, now is your time. I want you to let me know that you are here. You're hanging out with me, you're part of the Oh Dark 30 Club. Who's working on a project right now? In the chat, who is working on a project right now? Okay, so this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Why I like to use. Oh, well, look at me. I'm gonna go and talk a big game and then mess it up. Okay, so this is why I like using the plastic glue, because you can see up top here I've actually been able to squeeze, and it has filled in the gap that would have been there for me. And now, once that's dry, I'll just come back through and carve off those different sections. So I'm gonna leave that right there. This guy is getting close to being assembled. There it is. Hope you're making good hobby progress tonight, or just getting that encouragement and inspiration that you need to go tackle that hobby project. I'm with you, Dio Brando. Sprute is most definitely funny. Okay. There's that stuff. I don't think I can bring myself to do another wing right now. I think I'm gonna call it there, y'all. Right back for our last little bit here. Okay, well, here we go. This is the last little bit of the stream right here. This has been really fun. I just want to go back through Dio Brando. Super nice to meet you tonight. Missed Games, nice to meet you. Troy, good to see you again. Phlogiston, good to see you again in the chat. Iron Motion, thanks for hanging out. We also had Jacob the Earthling and Jack Wallace. Welcome to the channel, both of you guys. Yeah, it's Francis. It was good hanging out with you as well. Yeah, it's been a good chat. Thanks for all the questions, and glad that we could help out some of our newer friends to the hobby this time around. I love getting to see new people who are excited about Warhammer. I think it's a great hobby, honestly. There's so much to it, but you definitely can be involved from the get-go and have great results, have a lot of fun, and it doesn't have to be complicated. So if you are interested in joining an encouraging community of hobbyists, I will invite one more time for you to check out the Discord, the Nightly Painting Studio Discord. This is just an environment where we can go and we can hang out, we can talk all things hobby related, from gaming to hobby to painting to 3D printing, whatever it is that you're into as a part of the hobby. And that doesn't just go for Warhammer, so D&D, Infinity, Shatterpoint, Legion, any of those types of games. You know, we'd love to see you guys in the Discord sharing your stuff. But yeah, so if you are new and you're still with me, I generally tend to do streams Sunday night, Tuesday nights, and Thursday nights. Occasionally I'll miss one just because life, and I don't do this full time. But yeah, my thought was, if I'm going to be hobbying anyways, I'm going to be hanging out, I can either just sit here in my spare bedroom and at my painting desk doing my thing alone, or I can hang out with you guys, and hanging out with you guys is a lot more fun. So thank you for being a part of the stream tonight. I hope that you got a lot out of it, whether it was just connecting with other people or having your questions answered, or maybe getting a better idea of what it means to be a part of the Warhammer hobby. But yeah, thank you for hanging out. This has been really fun. Got a little Vespid guy done. The Shade Strain. He's pretty cool. Yeah, pumped about this particular Kill Team. I think they're going to be really cool. But yeah, we will see you in the next video. I'll be streaming again on Tuesday, and I would love to see you then. Until then, stay safe, have fun, and peace.